Hi, everybody. We're here with Kristin, who just landed her job, and we are so over the moon for her in this opportunity. Kristin, why don't you tell us a little about where you were in your job search before we started working together?
Sure. I had come to the decision after a lot of contemplating that I was going to actually make the move to start looking for something. But I had no idea how to even begin that. That was what was really overwhelming for me.
Mm.
Um, I come from a background that I've worked in various industries. While I had opportunity amongst really all industries, that in itself was really overwhelming. So trying to create strategy as to how to go into this, branding myself, and then of course strategically where I would be looking and what types of jobs, and so that's kind of all of those things combined is kind of where I was at and what really drove me to join you guys.
Yeah. Now, kind of on the other side of it, that's kind of the hardest part is just starting is where do you start? Because the job search is overwhelming. And it feels a lot easier when you have a plan in place. So when you joined us, which we're so grateful that you did, it's been a pleasure working with you. What was the best part of the program for you?
That's a really great question. I mean, there's honestly so many things. I mean, I can touch on a few of them. I think one is certainly like the one-on-one, working capacity with each of you. You each offer different pieces to this process, and it's very one-on-one, and it's very your schedules are very available. So you really felt that whatever it was, and as things were coming up, which we know they do, that it was a quick email to you guys and you were very responsive, or you saying I have time on my calendar, can you meet in 15 minutes, like having that really gave me like strength in knowing that I wasn't doing this by myself, and regardless of what it was, I could be able to confide in you or get advice or talk things through. So for me, and that carries through the entire length of the program, even as I'm on the other side of it. And I think also the community aspect of it too, in terms of being able to have open office hours and connect with other people in the program, and everyone's has their own unique story and direction, and you kind of learn from each other, you support each other. It's really incredible to have that as well.
Yeah.
So I would say that's another really important piece of it, that when you're kind of doing this, or the thought of doing this on your own is really scary, but knowing that you have a network of other people who are doing it but are also part of the program, there's a lot of power in that as well.
Yeah. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but for one of the most powerful parts for me, and I think for Jack, and I speak for our other coach as well, watching you go through this program has been life changing for me, I think. And I hope you don't mind me bringing this up, but when we first started, it was almost like we were attacking the job search from a place of almost like fear and scared and not knowing which way to go and not sure. And then there was almost this moment for you that flipped in your job search. Do you remember that too?
I do, yeah. And I don't remember like the moment it happened, but I certainly can look at like myself like before and after.
Yeah.
And I, going into the program was thinking like, gosh, this is so daunting. There's so many
Yeah.
things, but knowing that you had created this program, that all I had to do was commit to it, and I had to follow your lead and participate, and having the support of both you and Jack and the other coaches, like it kept me accountable too. And I remember thinking, especially once we got into the networking phase, like like I'm not going to be able, people aren't going to want to talk to me, like this is really scary. And so there was definitely some insecurity on my part going into it. And then once you got into the motion of it, and the automation was something that, as was really powerful for me, and it was almost like trying to keep up with that, became more work, but gladly it was, right. And
Yeah.
and I think from there you start, because you're in it, some of those insecurities kind of go away, because then you're actually actively doing it. And I think for me, and I know you guys have really, continued to say this, is you're dealing with humans. So you never know what you're going to get or what their reaction is going to be. And you're just somebody on the other side of a computer screen. And so that flip for me was finally getting to that position of like, if they reject me, fine, like I'm going to keep it moving. And that is what I ended up doing. And even if they rejected me once we got on the call, or they didn't have anything really viable to support me or, connect me, fine. It was just like, I'm done with them. I'm going to move on. And I think that is the power that I got. And that's the transformation that I think really changed the way I was approaching, the work that I had to do, but also some of the insecurities as well.
Yeah. It was like becoming empowered and confident and just sort of rejection. Who cares? I know how to get all these opportunities. And it just was so powerful to see. I loved it. Kristin, if someone was here right now and they were trying to decide whether or not to invest in themselves for their career, because it is an investment, right? And one of the things is that we know on our side is that, it takes kind of that investment. It takes that thing to get you to do the program, because it is some work. What would you tell them?
Do it. Do it. I would do it 10 times over. I mean, it was, it was certainly a decision that I had to make with my husband and contemplated over it. And to your point, thought, this is really an investment that I'm putting into myself and my career, my future, and my family. Like, there were so many things that really had implications as to what I was about to embark on. And I also didn't want to do it by myself and spin wheels and become more frustrated with what I was trying to accomplish because I wasn't able to accomplish anything. So I do firmly believe that it is an investment. And as long as you commit to the program and what you have both created, there's really no way you're not going to succeed. And so, I'm an advocate for the program. And, I have other professional friends that, have inquired, and I certainly am all about, referring and recommending that this is the best way to do it, and why, because a lot of them share the same kind of thoughts that I had when I first started. So, it's scary. It's a scary process, like hands down. This makes it less scary. And it actually, I feel like it makes it very attainable. And having the support and the structure, and all of it is, it's part of why you can be successful.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kristin. We are so happy for the next step in your career. We're so happy about the transformation, the confidence, all of it. And it was just a pleasure working with you, and good luck on the next step. Thank you.
Oh, it was a pleasure of mine as well. Thank you both.